Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari 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 Yashodanandana Rajadanandana Yashodanandana Rajadanandana Yashodanandana Rajadanandana Yashodanandana Jamuna Tira Jamuna Tira Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Vrajadanandana Yashodanandana Vrajadanandana Yashodanandana Vrajadanandana Yashodanandana Yamuna Tera Yamuna Tera Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Radha, Jaya Radha, Srimad Paramahamsa Hri Vraj Gachadra Stotra Satya Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Shalabai Sharanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki ISKCON DVT Founder Acharyas Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Harinam Sankirtan Ki Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Pimanande. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru, to Shri Gauranga, all glories to Shri Guru. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurandritam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Jitam Tvam Sajivam Sarvetam Savrutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanditam Sya Hare Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Satakancana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyaeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Narayanam Namaskritya Ram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Rojayam Udiraye. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a very means of conquest, let us first offer our respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Nara Narayana Rishi, the supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nastapesha Vadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Tamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering service, devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, it becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Shloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Nishreya Sayalokasya Dhanyam Swasayanam This Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaras, the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God, as Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Surabhyaya Namaha Om Om Surabhyaya Namaha Om Surabhyaya Namaha Mukam karoti vacharam pangam lagayate girim Yatkripatamaham Bande Sri Gurum Janathanam Yatkripatamaham Bande Sri Gurum Janathanam. Hare Krishna. Welcome to our Bhagavatam class after a long time. We are now in the second canto, the Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 1, which is entitled The First Step in God Realization. And today we are reading text number 30. Dhyar Akshini Chakshur Abhut Patangaha Pakshmani Vishnod Ahani Ubhe Cha Tad Bhru Vijrimbhaha Paramesthi Dhishnyam Apo Sya Talu Rasa Eva Jiva Yarakshini Chakshurabhut Patangaha Lakshmani Vishnor Ahani Ubhecha Tadabhru Visrimbha Paramesti Dhishnyam Aposya Kalu Rasa Eva Jiva Yaurakshini Chakshur Abhut Patangaha Lakshmani Vishnor Ahani Ubhecha Tadabhru Vijrimbha Paramesti Dhishnyam Aposyatalu Rasa Eva Jiva Akshini Chakshur Abhut Patangaha Lakshmani Vishnor Ahani Ubhecha Tadbro Visrimbha Paramesti Dhishnyam Aposyatalu Rasa Eva Jiva
Yarakshini Chakshura
Bhut Patanga
Lakshmani Vishnarahani Ubhecha Tadru Vijrimbha Paramesti Dishyam Aposhatalu Rasa Eva Jiva
Akshini Chakshur Abhut Patanga Lakshmani Vishnu Ahani Ubhecha Drovit Paramesti Disnyam Aposyatalu Rasayeva Jiva
Yarakshini Chakshura Bhut Patanga Lakshmani Vishnarahani Ubhecha Paramesti Dhishnyam Aposyatalu Rasa Jiva. The sphere of outer space. Akshini. The eyeballs. Chakshuhu. Of eyes. Senses. Abhut. It so became. Patangaha. The sun. Pakshmani. Eyelids. Vishnu. Of the personality of Godhead. Sri Vishnu. Ahani. Day and night. Ubhe. Both. Cha. And. Tat. His. Bhru. Eyebrows. Visrimbaha. Movements. Paramesti,
Parameshti,
the supreme entity,
the supreme entity,
Brahma,
Brahma,
Dishnyam,
Vishnam,
host,
Post,
Apaha,
Apaha,
Varuna,
Varuna,
the director of water,
the director of water,
Asya,
Asya,
his,
his,
Talu,
Talu,
palate,
Talat,
Rasaha,
Rasaha,
juice,
Juice,
Eva,
Eva,
certainly,
certainly,
Jiva,
Jiva,
the tongue.
the tongue.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki.
Jai.
The sphere of outer space constitutes his eye pits, and the eyeball is the sun as the power of seeing. His eyelids are both the day and the night, and in the movements of his eyebrows, the Brahma and similar supreme personalities reside. His palate is the director of water, Varuna, and the juice or essence of everything is his tongue. Kind of repeat after me. The sphere of outer space
The sphere of outer space
constitutes his eye pits,
constitutes his eye pits,
and the eyeball
and the eyeball
is the sun
is the sun,
as the power of seeing.
as the power of seeing.
His eyelids
His eyelids
are both the day and night,
are both the day and night,
and in the movements
and in the movements
of his eyebrows,
of his eyebrows,
the Brahma
the Brahma
and similar supreme
and similar supreme
personalities
personalities
reside.
reside.
His palate
His palate
is the director of water,
is the director of water,
Varuna,
Varuna,
and the juice
and the juice
or essence of everything
or essence of everything
is his tongue.
is his tongue.
Purport. The common sense, two common sense. The description in this verse appears to be somewhat contradictory because sometimes the sun has been described as the eyeball and sometimes as the outer space sphere. But there is no room for common sense in the injunctions of the Shastras. We must accept the description of the Shastras and concentrate more on the form of the Virat Rupa than on common sense. Common sense is always imperfect, whereas the description in the Shastras is always perfect and complete. If there is any incongruity, it is due to our imperfection and not the Shastras. That is the method of approaching Vedic wisdom. The translation again, the sphere of outer space constitutes his eye pits, and the eyeball is the sun as the power of seeing. His eyelids are both the day and night, and in the movements of his eyebrows, the Brahma and similar supreme personalities reside. His palate is the director of water, Varuna, and the juice or essence of everything is his tongue. So this is the ongoing description of the Virat Rupa, which is similar to the description that we find also in the Bhagavad Gita. We will recall how Arjuna at some point requested Lord Krishna to show or to manifest his Virat Rupa or universal form. And in the previous purport, in this chapter, Srila Prabhupada makes that connection that there is consistency in the description given both in the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam, naturally. Here the point is being made in the purport by Srila Prabhupada that it has previously been described that the eyeball is sometimes described as the outer space sphere, and in this verse the eyeball is described as the sun, as the power of seeing. So we will find, this is the point being explained, at times we will find in the Shastras seemingly opposite or contradictory statements. And our common understanding, to our common perception, this opposite or contradictory. Just like the famous example that often is given by Srila Prabhupada, that in the Shastra it mentions that if we come in contact with the stool of an animal, we become contaminated and we must take a bath. But we know that at the same time, the cow dung, which is the stool of an animal, is purifying. It is so purifying that it is essential when we install deities in a temple. There are 5 ingredients, panchagavya products, which are needed to actually perform abhishek, to install the deities. Milk, yogurt, ghee, cow dung, and cow urine. And in the every year in India, in the Vedic culture, not only in India, everywhere, we follow Chaturmas. And in the last month of Chaturmas, month of Kartik, one is recommended to follow different austerities. And part of those austerities, which are connected with fasting, minimizing or reducing one's eating, the Shastras give specific directions that one can consume some amount of cow dung and cow urine. Not a full meal, some amount, which actually cleanses the body. We know that cow dung, one can write a whole book on cow dung actually, or maybe many books. Cow dung is is used daily. It's part of the Vedic tradition. Cow dung comes from the animal which is described in the Vedic literatures as the animal that is in the mode of goodness. Cows are in the mode of goodness. And everything from the body of the cow is considered pure. I was discussing with someone yesterday how Vedic culture is perfect and complete because Majority of people in the material world naturally are influenced by the modes of material nature. Especially in Kali Yuga, everyone is quite heavily under the influence of rajas and tamas, mode of ignorance, mode of passion. Rajas and tamas, mode of ignorance. Vedic culture has a very simple but natural and also scientific system whereby we are meant, every day we are meant to associate with cows. If we, actually in the Vedic culture, everyone should have, every family used to have cows. Not only one cow, many cows. And that means if you have cows, then you will get cow dung every day for cooking. The best medium for cooking is cow dung. The food is the most tasty, yeah, because cow dung is pure. And therefore, one who has cow, he has to pick up the cow dung. Means he has to touch the cow dung, has to come in contact. That means we become purified. In the home, they put on the wall, as we know, in the villages. Villages traditionally make their home from um, from the soil.
Soil mixed with powder.
Yes, the earth. In Bengal, you can still see they dig a Bengal and also Rissa. Somebody gets a piece of land, he makes a big hole to have a pond, and all the soil from that hole, it becomes his house. The perfect arrangement. You have your pond and you have your house on the same land. And every day, by keeping cows, you you cover your clay house um, with cow dung on the wall and also on the floor. So it is cow dung is very antiseptic. So this is seemingly contradictory because it's a stool of an animal, but because cow is not actually considered animal. Uh, Cows are a very special, very unique species, which are actually absolutely essential in so many different ways. Actually, for not only human beings, but actually for the whole uh, of humankind. Uh, it is mentioned how everything on the planet, Gava Pratista Bhutanam. Gava means cow, Pratista means to sustain. Bhutanam means all living entities. Cows sustain all living entities, trees, plants, soil. Everything comes from the soil. Sarva Kama Dugamahi. Sarva Kama, all necessities of life actually come from Mahi, from the land. So therefore, this is the kind of faith we need to have in the words that are ultimately coming from the Supreme Lord. Vedic literature is revealed knowledge. It is perfect knowledge. And therefore, in this purport, Prabhupada repeats many times this word common sense. Well, common sense is not always common sense. Common sense, because it is on the level of sense perception. Sense perception is misleading, isn't it? Uh, therefore, Vedic literatures teach us that to try and see things, to try and understand things with our senses, or even with our mind. Yeah, because senses are material. Anything material is limited, imperfect. Our mind is also material. Therefore, our mind is also limited and imperfect. Our intelligence is also material, isn't it? Ah, this gross body made up of different senses, and the subtle body, material subtle body, made up of mind, intelligence, and ego, is also material. So therefore, this uh, method that most people rely on or utilize to acquire knowledge is uh, imperfect. Uh, so this point is being nicely brought out here by Srila Prabhupada. Mm, that if we find any, that's why also we need to, at times, when such contradictions um, are found, we need to consult with our acharyas, isn't it? And sometimes it's interesting that some apparent contradictions may not be understood immediately. It may not be understood for many hundreds of years. Then at some point, some acharya comes, oh, it's like this. It resolves the contradiction. This is the type of faith that one needs to have in the words that are given in Shastra. Of course, uh, we follow Shastra, we follow Guru, we follow Sadhu. Sadhu, Guru, and Shastra. They are, we could say, complementing one another. Uh, the source or the basis or the origin of all knowledge is Veda. This is established by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur actually in his Dasamula Tattva. Dasamula Tattva, 10 essential uh, truths. Uh, the first of the 10 being that all source of knowledge is Veda, Vedic knowledge. The same actually is established by Srila Jiva Goswami in his Sat Sandarbha. In the first of the Sat Sandarbha, which is Tattva Sandarbha, Srila Jiva Goswami very elaborately, excuse me, very nicely, very elaborately uh, explains this point that actually Vedic knowledge is the source of all knowledge. And uh, he goes on to explain in a very wonderful way how there is also supplementary to the Vedic literatures, which are uh, Puranas, Puranas and Upanishads. They are supplementary knowledge to the Vedas that he establishes uh, through Shastra. And therefore, he concludes that for us, especially in Kali Yuga, it is more important for us to take and to give importance to the Srimad Bhagavatam, The Srimad Bhagavatam is a culmination of all Vedic knowledge as compiled, as given to us by the author, Srila Vyasadeva. We recite every day how Srila Vyasadeva is a compiler. He is the literary incarnation who has compiled, especially for the age of Kali Yuga, the Srimad Bhagavatam. Of course, Srimad Bhagavatam is eternal knowledge. And therefore, that is the reason why our Vaishnava Acharyas focus all of our main Vaishnava Acharyas, beginning with Sridhar Swami, have concentrated on giving their commentary on the Srimad Bhagavatam. And we see also in the example of Srila Prabhupada, he has actually his masterpiece, his masterwork, his masterpiece, which he started before going to the Western countries, which he started in Vrindavan, is centered on the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, which is described as the Amala Puranam, spotless Purana, perfect knowledge. So we'll just read the text again quickly, and yeah, activities will start very soon. So this is the text, translation to 30. The sphere of outer space constitutes his eye-pits, and the eyeball is the sun as the power of seeing. His eyelids are both the day and night, and in the movements of his eyebrows, the Brahma and similar supreme personalities reside. Brahma is the supreme personality in the material world because he's the creator, but he is a secondary creator. Vishnu is the original creator. Vishnu, and of course, Vishnu is an expansion of Krishna. His palate is the director of water, Varuna, and the juice or essence of everything is his tongue. Any question or comment? Personal, hey. We have a visitor. Before actually making a home nest. Maybe it's someone was born here. Okay. Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai Sri Prabhupada ki Jai Gaur Kivanandi.
His Holiness Bhaktiraj Swami Maharaj ki Jai.